2 seconds. Hold on. Let me pull out my. Hold on. Let's get the old laptop out here and let's talk about this thing a little bit because I just watched one of the weirdest films of the year. This was like a film of all time kind of thing where it's like that meme of what a movie of all time, what a song of all time, where people laugh and joke and make fun of stuff. Like that movie was like it was good. It was good, but it was weird. Like I know how we all like to use it's art, it's an aesthetic, it's a vision from a director. You can't judge art, but like, this was so weird because like halfway through the movie, like every single time the main character, gosh, I don't even remember her name to be honest. Hold on, what's the main? Hold on, here you go. I go IMDb. Like I'm just thinking, lady, like, hold on, let's go. I will say that Nicholas Holt, dude, killed it, freaking killed it. All right, that's where we've seen her from. Okay, I was wondering how the hell she looked familiar. Lily Depp, she's in The Icon. Abel Tesfaye, The Weeknd, when he did his terrible ass TV show where she's walked half naked the whole time, and it's like, what are we doing here? Yes, Lily Rose Depp. Okay, no wonder it looks so freaking familiar. And then the other one, Aaron Taylor Johnson, of course, Craven, which I have not seen Craven the Hunter, which actually, when I think about it, it's like, I should have wasted my money and went and saw Craven the Hunter versus this movie. I think, what held the movie back, I hate to say it, was Ellen's character. Like, Lily Rose Depp, I feel like, yeah, like, I hate to say it, I feel like kind of held the movie back a little bit. But like what pulled it forward obviously was surprisingly Aaron Taylor Johnson's character. I think Aaron Taylor Johnson's character Frederick was awesome. Thomas was good too. Like and then Willem Dafoe's character. I'm not gonna lie, like throughout the whole entire course of the movie, I thought that the Count Orloff, the Count Dracula character, I thought it was Willem Dafoe. Like, I thought it was Willem Dafoe's character. Like, I knew Bill Skarsgård was in this film because of his way to portray evil villains and stuff. Like, he did it for Pennywise. He did it, in The Crow and in this. So I thought, like, there would be, like, I thought one was, maybe, I'll be honest, I don't know the story of Count Dracula. So, like, once it got done, I was like, what the hell? Is that really the story? The old myth, fable, like whatever you want to call it. And so my brain thought halfway through the movie that there's Dracula, who would be Willem Dafoe, and like the vampire, which would be Bill Skarsgård. I know, two different separate monster entities. Like that's what I was thinking. But then after you finally got to, because with the mustache and the pointy nose, I was like, oh hell yeah, that's Willem Dafoe with a lot of prosthetics, prosthetics, like prosthetic makeup and stuff, like visuals of that's him sitting in the chair for 4 or 5 hours a day, getting all the makeup on. Then when it showed the doctor and stuff, and it's just Willem Dafoe himself, I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Then I like, whether it was his side profile or like his eyes, I was like, oh yeah, that's Skarsgård for sure. And it just was like over the top. And the other thing that I kind of about was like every single time it would show Ellen's character just like breathing in and breathing out, I was like, dude, why the fuck is she moaning? Like, what the hell is this? Like, is someone trying to get off? But then like when you watch the film and like know the story, it's like, oh, it's I'm a bang a monster kind of movie. Like, they joke about how Shape of Water is the fish banging movie. That's what this film is. This is the I'm gonna bang a monster kind of movie, which I think, I don't know, maybe when the original one came out, because I almost watched the original last night, maybe in 1922 that was a good idea, that was a good premise. But in this one, it's like, yeesh, like it just like, it's really weird. And how it's like you can't, you got to succumb to the desire of, an evil vampire. It's like, ugh, and how just the MacGuffin of them finding a book where it's like, ah, right here, right here. See, it's a curse. She's got to sleep with him. It's like, who the hell wrote this? Like, it truly, this is either the best worst film of the year or the worst best film of the year. And a lot of, because like I've seen a lot of reviews where a lot of people talked about how um, like the movie was good, but it wasn't great. Like there was something missing. And I think it's just that weird, I don't know, like maybe I've followed, I don't know, the story labels of like Dracula. Maybe I'm separating the two. Maybe Dracula's Dracula, and it's like, hey, have you met my horny brother Nosferatu? You know, he just wants to bang everything in sight. You know, he desires blood, but he wants a little more too. If you get what I mean, hut hut. You know, but I just like maybe it's just like children fables like Hansel and Gretel, where it's like, oh yeah, they throw them in the oven, whatever. Like maybe just the story of it isn't as dark and as gruesome or something, but like it's like no, this is exactly how the story is. Where it's like, yes, he desires blood and he craves blood, but he also craves the touch of a woman, and maybe that's what the story of Dracula has always been. But like the way we watch it, like yes, of course, Hotel Transylvania is not the same, or like Johnny Depp's Dark Shadows, or like these other silly vampire movies that aren't necessarily Count Dracula. Maybe that's a little bit because like the the piercing thing, like the nail, the spear, the to stab, like the garlic and stuff, like all that. Like I knew of like he can't come into the sunlight or else he'll be he'll die and he'll disintegrate and stuff, and like all those key points of the fate, but like just the idea of it's like no, I gotta eat your heart out while I'm eating you out. It's like, the hell are we watching here? So I think it's fun. It's an okay film, but it's not I think it's going to be remembered for a little bit, but then eventually forgotten. And this director, because I saw some post, um the Eggers, no, yeah, Robert Egger, yeah, where how he made Witch. He also made oh gosh, he's made 4 films, and some of them are similar to this, like Anna Taylor Joy, the blonde Princess Peach. She was in the other one. Let me look at Robert Eggers. Um, the Northman and the Lights. Yes, so that's the connection with Willem Dafoe more in this one. Yes, there, which the Lighthouse and the Northman, which I was really interested in the Northman. I just never got around to watching. But the only thing that I know about the Lighthouse is what everybody else knows about the Lighthouse, which is the meme of Willem Dafoe like looking up like this, like which there's probably context to, where that image comes from. And I know that the Lighthouse was kind of a spring step, but like kind of like a rejuvenation for Robert Pattinson's career. Like obviously he was hired on to be the Batman for Christopher Reeves. No, not name it. Matt Reeves Batman film and Batman projects, because like he did Cedric Diggory and he did Edward, from Twilight, and he just kind of got forgotten. You know what I mean? Because it's like this is my typecast where I'm like in these teen fantasy and stuff. But I think. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. I seen the Lighthouse or the Northman or the Witch to compare and contrast to go, "Hey, this is actually like right on cue to his style of films. I'm just gonna believe what everybody else says, which is like, yeah, that this one is on style. Thing that I know about like is it's self-sacrifice. Like there's something to do with demon possession, and like that's what the climax of the Witch is Anna Taylor Joy, I think that's her name. Hold on, let me double check. And that one's only an hour and a half too. Like this film felt long, but it also felt very short at the same time. Yeah, Anya, not Anna, Anya Taylor Joy, is that her dying wish was like the self-sacrifice at the very very end of the film and stuff. Um, what else? What else? I mean, I think Thomas was a good. Also, the possession of like how, I guess I wrote it, like I kind of thought about it as I left the theater, because the first words out of my mouth when I left the theater was, "What did I just watch?" Because it's like it's not like once you realize kind of how stupid the premise is, where it's like, "Oh, Count Dracula wants to bang your girl, dude." It takes away the fear, and that's what I've noticed. The longer we went into the film, is like the opening scene where she's praying, and then he comes out of the dark and he grabs her and stuff. Like, no, I'm gonna lie, that shit was scary. But then as the film further and further and further along, it becomes less scary. You know what I mean? Like the more that we see, okay, yeah, that's Bill Skarsgård's character. Yeah, it's, you can tell that that's him in the makeup, and I mean the accent, the deep voice, the menacing voice. It was just a little too like the dude's like this. Like I can get that, but just with every word being so accent, like you could barely understand him. Like you could barely understand him, but then when he's also speaking to her in dreams, he's speaking, the different language, and she can understand him, but she's speaking back to him in English. It's like pick a lane. I know that's a little rant, and that kind of doesn't make sense, and that's like a minor, minor what's the word, nitpick of the film, because there's a lot of stuff that this filmed well. I mean, I think costume design was pretty good. It did feel like we were in 1850s Germany. The thing that I was like, huh, okay. Oh, okay, that was one thing, is it took Thomas, did he say 6 weeks? The passage of time in this is absolutely like out of this world. Like you can't tell you can't tell you can't tell that time is passing until time has passed. Like you can't tell that Thomas left, like for example those witches that found him on the side of the road after he jumped out of the castle and and escaped. Like those women are never seen, like the ones that where he like stands up and he's like, no, I have to go warn the people. One by land, two by sea. The British as he's rushing back, like we never see them again, which I didn't really expect that, but there's just so much random shit where it makes sense watching it, but then once it's over, it's like, why the hell we do that? Like, for example, the when he starts to get infected with say infected or possessed with the dreams, where he visualizes and sees them bring that body out to the and they do a sacrifice and stuff in the middle of the woods, and there's the chick on the horse, and he's like, by God's name, what are you doing? Blah blah blah, and then he wakes up and there's mud on his feet, and it's like, okay, was he in a translucent state where he did actually go out to the out to the village and stuff? And it's like, what happened to all those people? Were those the same village people that found him at the river? Like there's those kind of questions. But again, like in the grand scheme of things, when the story is over, like, it doesn't really matter, because like what did happen to those people? Was it a psychedelic figure of his imagination? Like did he actually stay the night in the village, which I think he did? Did did Orlok, like did the spirit of Orlok in the possession like kill everybody clean or something? I will admit to, as I'm rambling now, I'm jumping point to point to point of things that I loved about this movie, things that I didn't like about this movie. I will say the coolest visual in the whole entire film was the kid that picked him up in the middle of the woods. That was sick as hell, because he's walking along, and like there are lots of roads, there are lots of back roads in, like when in Washington, or just out in the country and stuff, where like I've walked on those kind of roads where it's like, yeah, like it's kind of spooky sometimes when it gets late out there. And then all of a sudden, like the horses, like just the sound design of how you can make horses be scary as horses approach, and then like this spook of, oh, here come the horse, and then the carriage, drawbridge, the the arm open, and like how it feels like he was teleported. Like how long was he on his horse before he was in the woods, and how long did it take from the carriage to him to Count Dracula and stuff? I'm just gonna call him Count Dracula or Nosferatu from here on out. But just yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those just weird films that doesn't need to make sense. I'll admit, I'm probably not gonna think about this film as much as I've thought about Smile 2, or how much I'll probably think about No Country for Old Men as we move forward. Horror film, how I would say it would compare to Terrifier 3 or Smile 2. This doesn't even hold a candlelight. Like there was genuine There's genuine, like, Terrifier 3 wasn't scary. It's just like a glorified, slasher, snuff. But like Smile 2, like the feeling that Smile 2 like brings you, like, where I've noticed this too as I've started watching a little bit more horror films, trying to expand my catalog of film knowledge and stuff, is this movie was very claustrophobic at times too. Like the camera was right here where you can't see on the outside. You can only, like, your peripheral is right here on the face. And like the one where it built up, where you could tell, okay, shit's about to go sideways, because like there's a Frederick's character, and and his wife and the daughter, like when they're praying, like, okay, please no monsters come and get us. It's like you knew monsters are gonna come and get them. But just how, when she's, just to watch the frame, like as I'm watching the film, how it, like, there's all this light from the candle as she's closing the door, but then all of a sudden, as the camera and the lights dim, 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 all you can see is the candlelight and her. And then she looks to the right, and you're like, okay, she looks back to the left. He's going to be right there to go, hurrah, you know what I mean? But then the fact that Ellen's character just pops out of nowhere, and she's like, can I stay with you tonight? It's like, good misdirection for a jump scare, because there was near there in the end, but it's like, where the hell did you come from? And then you wonder, was she possessed when she got out to say, hey, can I stay with you? Can I stay with you, please? But I mean, just looking at the camera work, I have just like, there's a lot of shots on Lily Rose Depp. There's a lot of shots on Thomas's character. There's a lot of shots on, like, in particular, one of the final shots of Willem Dafoe, where, like, establishing shot, like, where he's like, you know what you need to do? I'm gonna go to your husband. We're gonna go run over to the, the burial ground, but like, stay right here. You gotta fulfill your prophecy. You gotta sleep. You gotta cave into temptations and sleep with him, and stuff. Like those establishing shots, I will give credit on that, where there were shots where it did feel claustrophobic, and especially the opening night, and just kind of the looming presence of when he gets to, I'm just gonna call it Hotel Transylvania. When he finally gets to Transylvania, out in the countryside, and like the doors open, the doors close, you can see lurking, and then they walk away. Like, it just, I don't know, like it was just kind of like, it felt like it was a build, and there wasn't an explosion. It was like just build, simmer, build, simmer, build, simmer. And there was no, like, the music and the special effects did build drama, but it wasn't as much as, like, let's say Smile 2, or for example It, or because like there were genuine, all of it, yes, was jump scares on why It Chapter 2 were pretty spooky. In some instances, a lot of it just did rely on just simple scare tactics of jump scares, and like be really loud, like we're gonna just crash as many keys on our synth as we can, or whatever, in the scratch board for sound effects to just but I will say the score of this film was pretty good. It kept you involved, and you could feel the emotion of, oh, it's getting dark all of a sudden, or when the dream sequences were happening, it's like, okay, we can tell we're in a dream sequence. And yeah, but let me get the point and the plot holes where I was like, this makes no damn sense. Is when, for example, oh gosh, we're really lagging. Sorry guys, if we're lagging, I'm sorry. Sorry about it. Hope you guys are enjoying, though, as I ramble and give my Nosferatu, some plot holes that I saw that I questioned a little bit on, like, what the hell, this makes no sense, is how long it takes him to get there. He goes on horse, and he's traveling out there to the countryside, into the mountain. But then when you look at the map, there's no, like, you don't see a body of water. It's not like they're crossing the ocean or something. They're just not, like, he didn't take a boat to get out there to go find. But then, Count Dracula takes a boat back to the mainland because he's locked in that box. At what point in the film did, he signs the papers, signs the documents, He can't recall anything. He wakes up and he's still locked up and he becomes a prisoner. He tries to escape. He tries to, kill him again there right in the coffin. And he's knocked out again and then he's chased by the wolves. And what point when he's trying to finally do the deed and, end it and end the curse, where did Count Dracula get on a boat and like get locked in a containment on a boat? You see what I mean? Like that was one plot hole where I was, how the hell, where was the time for him to get on a boat and get locked away? Like, I mean, if you sent, the cavalry and stuff of like guards and soldiers and stuff, and like they captured him and then they locked him up and like, we gotta, end his curse or whatever. Like, I get that point, but like, how did he, because he's all present, all knowing, because there's that cool visual of him reaching out his hand and the shadow stretched across, the town and stuff. But again, how the hell did he get on the boat? I know a lot of it's movie magic and imagination where you're thinking, oh, that's how he got on the boat. Like, yeah, how did he get on the boat? And then the other thing, and they probably talked about it a little bit, was when when they find out, okay, this is how we're going to break the curse, this is how we're going to end the curse, we're going to drive a spear straight through his heart, and all this and that, we're going to kill the corpse so the corpse can't like find another thing to try to rejuvenate and live forever. Because there was a point where I was like, okay, Thomas is going to be the next Dracula. Like, he's going to be the sacrificial lamb to new blood and flesh, where, okay, this is who he's going to be for the next 100 so years before he finds another host his body, if that makes sense. Because that was in the back of my mind where it's like, this guy's going to die. It's either him or it's going to be, like, I would think it'd be him because he's the main character, but a stretch would have it be Willem Dafoe's character, or Frederick's character or something. But like, just the fact how after the ship crashes and all the mice are scattering everywhere, and like it's symbolism of like the plague and stuff, because at the time, like, the Black Plague like wiped out a lot of people and stuff. Like I liked that, and I liked how there was that symbolism and stuff. But but like how the dude was able to find him, the dude who sent him on the mission anyway, to go to the house to sign the documents and papers and whatnot. Just the fact that like he was able to find him, put his body back into the coffin, row down the middle of the river or whatever, taking our sweet time to get to the new house or whatever, the new property. Like, my brain was like, where the hell, and when was it planned out that like, oh, I know, we gotta go to that, like, they never talk about like where to go find it. Like, obviously it's suspected as us, the viewers, viewing it, where it's like, well, if Dracula was at the old house and the documents were to sign for the new house, he'd be at the new house. Like, you can look at it and we can put two and two together as the audience. How the hell do the characters know that? And so when it shows them, all three of them, ready up for battle, and it's all just a red herring because Willem is trying to distract the character so that his wife can sleep with Dracula and break the curse. It's like, how'd you know to go there? It just it kind of didn't make sense. But I mean, I will give credit to Skarsgård though. I think he did really good playing Orlok. Yeah, Orlok. Hold on, let me give the government official name here. Let's rewind. Count Orlok, yes, Count Orlok. Professor Albin Eberhard von Franz Knock. Yeah, dude, Knock. Okay, I want to know where Knock comes from. Simon McBurney. Like, I feel like I've seen him in other films. Where have I seen him? Ooh. Oh, he's in Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Okay. What else is he in? The Theory of Everything. Harry Potter. He's in, and he's also in Russell Crowe's Robin Hood. Okay, cause I knew he looked familiar. He looked familiar. And we know where Willem Dafoe is from. Like, Willem Dafoe is in everything. Okay, and then Emma Corrin, her character, Anna. Like, it took me forever to go, who the hell is this actress? Like, I know this actress so freaking familiar. And it didn't take until, like, she herself, her character started to get possessed. Or I was like, Oh my hell. That's Vic in Deadpool versus Wolverine. That's Charles Xavier's sister, and it didn't take me well because I'm used. That's the first movie I've ever seen her in is Deadpool versus Wolverine. So I'm used to her no hair, just running around and like Professor Xavier kind of type outfit, that she was in Deadpool versus Wolverine. And so then when I see her with all this hair and like all the costume and stuff, it's like, who is this? Who is this? And then like it finally clicked where I was like, oh, I know where this person's from. Um, but then gosh, what else? I think Doctor Wilhelm, dude, Ralph Ralph Ineson also carried this film at parts. Like I think his character did good. He has a great narrating voice. I thought it was funny how everybody had mutton chops. It made me think about the time I had mutton chops one time. But then I think his character was good. Willem Dafoe was good. Bill Skarsgård. Like it was a good film. But again, going back to this is either the best worst film of the year or the worst best film of the year, and I think it's got Oscar bait written all over it. And it's just one of those films where it's like, wow, this like story, the premise is it's a little unique and it's a little different because I mean, it makes you think, well, Dracula only wants blood, you know what I mean? But this one a little bit more. But I mean, it's all right. It's all right. But the longer I watched it, it's like, oh, this film's kind of just, but it is what it is. I thank you guys for watching and listening to me ramble. This has been my review for the movie. Would I recommend you probably seeing it? Nah, save your money, or waste your money and go see something else like Gladiator 2 or Wicked or Wild Robot, Sonic 3. There's so many movies right now where it's like, oh my gosh, we can't buy a new premise. Anyways, thank you guys for listening to me rant. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.